All right, now we're live.
Now we're live, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
Feels
welcome
good.
to Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast with Chad, Dan, Daniel, little Ocho.
Little Ocho.
Happy,
Happy Sunday.
yeah,
That's right.
How's your Sunday going? How's your
Like-
Sunday morning going?
like shit.
Yeah,
no.
Me too, man. Me too. Oh, what happened? You first.
Yeah.
I was gone all week. All week.
Oh, okay.
Monday. Well, I mean, I was home on Friday, I guess, but I mean, I was working all day, so it didn't really mean anything. So from right here in this hellhole pit of office of mine, and the yard looks like trash because you just can't. You know, you're just mowing it once a week. And the last weekend when I mowed it, I had to mow it twice because I wasn't able to mow it the weekend before because I was out of town for the weekend as well. And so it had 2 weeks worth of rain and growth, spring, summertime rain and growth, right? And it's just horrible. And the big drawback to having an electric mower, all right, and this is the only drawback I've got with it so far, if you let that grass go and it's a little too tall,
It's tough on the mower.
it is a pain in the ass to mow. You can't do it. You
Yeah.
have to set the thing all the way up to top. You have to mow the whole yard, which means then you have to go and charge the batteries and mow the whole yard again the next day.
Yikes.
And with all the rain and everything, I wasn't able to really do it quite as good as what I should have. And so now I'm looking at another giant thick patch of yard to go at today. And of course, what's it do this morning? It starts pouring. And I'm gone all week next week. So, you know, it's just...
You're going to come back to Jumanji
I'm
in
going
your
to
yard.
I'm going to come back to Jumanji. Yes, it's just no fun. So
I'm guessing with Dan's outfit, he's going to mow the yard too after this.
I did it yesterday.
yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
See, I should have done it yesterday, but
Now, granted, half the dandelions are back in the last 12 hours,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
whatever.
Dandelion Watch 2020 or
Uh huh.
2022.
Uh huh.
Yep.
It's just horrible. It's just horrible. You can't get rid of the dang things.
So my morning, I was having coffee with my wife. My son was up in his room playing Roblox on his computer while on a Teams call with his friend from school because they play together, they chat together.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I each looked up from our cup of coffee at the same time when we heard him repeatedly calling his friend a word that he's not supposed to use, that he's not even supposed to know at 9 years old. And we looked at each other like, did he say what I think he said? She says, I don't know. I'm gonna go find out. But you know, I'm gonna keep the show PG-13. But you know, Paul, Union, Sam, Yankee was
so he's talking. He's trying to talk like a man. I got you.
yeah. So
Meow.
yeah, meow is right. So he said, hey buddy, why don't you take a break? Come downstairs. And I had to give him the talk. I'm like, do you know what that word means? No. Where'd you hear that word? I heard it at school. Yeah,
Of course.
don't use that word. And I want to be honest with him. So I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to tell you what it means. And his jaw just dropped. You know. I said, I don't want to scare you, but you know, you use that word at school, you're probably going to get sent home.
Mm-hmm.
And you call the wrong kid at school that word, and you're going to get punched in your face. So
That's true.
Yeah.
So just don't. If you hear
At
any
any
other
age.
words, yeah, and that's the thing. You know, it was a serious talk that we had.
Yeah.
I was basically telling him, if you don't know what a word means, don't use it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't use it because you're going to use it wrong, and there's going to be consequences for it. So if you hear something you don't know what it means, you want to come out. You're never going to get in trouble for asking me what a word means.
Right.
I may tell you, you know, don't ever use that again, but at least you'll know.
Yep.
But yeah. So that was
I remember those kinds of lessons with my dad, Dennis Riker, and he would always couch them up,
Yeah.
son, these are the things you don't do in the back of a pool hall. And that's how we would start the conversation.
Nice. Did your family own a pool hall? What was going on there?
Well, we had a pool table in the basement. We played pool all the time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was...
So Dennis told him, he said, You call the wrong Nausicaan that word. Forget it. You got an artificial heart.
Yep.
See what I did there? Got to bring it all. Got to bring it all back to Trek.
All back, baby.
That Trek brings it all together.
Trek.
Trek brings it all together. Hey, Pike had a nice conversation about a Nausicaan as well. So,
Oh yeah, the pantless Nausicaan.
There was something so wonderful about that scene in his, what is that? That's not really his ready room. Is it his ready room? It's a freaking huge.
Those
place.
are his quarters.
That's a giant place.
Those are his quarters.
I mean, good grief, it's huge. But there was something so awesome about that scene.
I almost expected him to be like, "Oh, welcome to my quarters. #blessed."
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I've got a huge man crush on Anson Mount.
Yeah.
Oh
right
God,
now.
you and every other man on the internet right now.
I don't know, man. This show and that character and him,
They've actually made a captain. They've actually made an actual manly man captain. And it's not a manly man as in like a toxic man. He's a nice guy. He's just a man.
He's a good dude.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's just a dude.
Yeah.
And he is so relatable. It's such a, we were all worried about, we'll talk about this in the topic, but we were all worried about this show and whether or not this would have the same crossover with the same writers from Disco and everything else that's been going on with Picard. And my God, I mean, what happened to these people to make such an excellent if all they have to do at this point is keep doing what they've done in these first 2 episodes, and I'll be ecstatic. Yeah. And what happened to them? Did somebody finally pull the Kool-Aid away from them or what? I mean,
so I went to the toy show yesterday, right?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a toy show in my area for those of you who don't know, because it was just us talking yesterday on the chat. But anyways, so it was interesting because as I was walking around amongst all the nerds and dorks, just like myself, there were several people talking about Strange New Worlds. Mm-hmm. And I overheard a few different people say stuff like, I didn't like Picard, I didn't like Disco, but this one's really good. I've heard other people say, like, I didn't watch the other ones because I heard the fans hated them, so I waited, and this one the fans seemed to like, so I'm going to check it out, or I checked it out. So it's interesting how the buzz is different. I also talked to one lady who had like nothing but Star Trek toys in her booth, and everything was like really overpriced. And I was kind of surprised, and I asked her what was the deal with that, and she said it's because of the new show. There's a renewed interest, and now she can charge more.
Yeah. So I described this show in another group, in another chat. I described this show a certain way, and quite a few people were like, "That's the perfect description of this show." But what I basically said is, I equated it to a car, and I said this is a TOS engine with TNG wiring and an ST09 paint job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I love it. I love it. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Well, I have one little issue with this last episode that we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. For the first time, I'm really, really, for the first time in a long time, I'm really, really looking forward to each week to see where they go. I mean, I was excited about Picard, but that quickly faded. After like 3 or 4 episodes. So I mean, we'll see. They still got plenty of time to mess it up, but
they do. But I mean,
they do.
Here's the thing that's nice, though, right? I mean, writing like this for shows like this is fairly formulaic, really. I mean, they have a book, they have a Bible that they go by, they have some certain ways that they want to have characters, this, that, and the other, right? So, what's nice to know, since they have that kind of setup, is with 2 episodes down already. This is their formula. This is the episodic formula they were going for. They nailed it. I mean, they just did. It doesn't matter if the rest of the episodes are shit. They're all going to be episodic with this type of formula, and that part of it I love. It's fantastic. So you can just.
It's like they listened to this show. It's almost like they listened to this show and said, "Do the episodic stuff, have the overarching stories in the background," which they did. They've given a new layer to it in that
all of my letters sent have been returned, so they haven't listened.
Well, I was gonna say it's got an underlying overarching B story, and that is that Pike knows his fate.
Right.
Yes,
and I'm interested in that.
There's been rumors and speculations this last week after this latest episode that maybe they're going to rewrite that and take that back, and that's bad and that's wrong. No, they're not. They're just exploring it. They're just, well, maybe they will. I don't know. But right now, I like the fact that they're exploring it and they're talking about it. And Rebecca Romijn, number one, is doing exactly what her character should do, which is, but Pike, I don't want you to die. Maybe there's a way to get around that. And he's like, no, it's inevitable.
But it kind of, okay, so you watch that TOS episode where Spock goes rogue and defies orders and takes Pike to, what is it? I can't remember the name of it.
or whatever that is.
Yeah, Talos. Yep. Which him disobeying orders and doing that was so out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this show is giving us the backstory to make it in character,
right?
In that he knew it was coming. Pike knew it was coming 10 years before, but he knew he knows there's whatever it is, 9 cadets or whatever that he's going to save.
Yeah.
And at some point he's going to make the decision that their lives are the needs of the many, not to but Pike is going to, and I wouldn't be surprised if they work that into it at some point. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
And maybe it's Pike who says it and gives that line to Spock.
Well, what I'm wondering is if we're going to meet these characters, because he says some of their names.
Well, they're all
and
kids.
He says he knows them all.
Yeah.
So I think as the seasons go on, we got to meet them.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
But what's got to be great is if one of them is just a dick, just an absolute jerk, and he knows he's got to save him.
That's but that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. It would be.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. All right, should we get into the news since we're already on the topic?
Well, real quick, I got
excited.
another shirt.
This is so amazing.
I got another shirt from Pop Cultures.
Nice.
So it's this one.
Let's stand up a little bit taller. Is it Wolverine? Oh, it's a Beast.
Oh, it's
Beast mode.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
Beast mode.
Love it.
The plan is to wear this one to the gym tonight. But
yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah. So so for everyone listening, if you go to popcultureshirts.com and you type in 22 Trekcast, you'll get 30% off shirts like this. They've got all sorts of unique and original designs, so definitely go check that out.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do the news.
All right, let's get right into the news.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
All right. So our first news story comes to us from theheavy.com. And this is kind of interesting. But before we get too excited, I'll just say what it is and I'll give the counter to this. New trademark filing by Paramount could confirm Project Khan as a Star Trek miniseries. So, CBS has filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office the term or the phrase Star Trek: SETI Alpha 5. The filing was made April 11th, and I have the filing here, and it is for a miniseries across a streaming platform. That's what they're filing it for a video on demand service, providing entertainment on a global computer network. So definitely a streaming show is what they're filing for. So this is the show that Nicholas Myers has mentioned that he wrote the script a couple weeks ago. We had that story where he said he wrote the script and they hadn't done anything with it.
2 years
apparently
ago?
they filed the trade. Yeah. Well, apparently they filed the trademark. So.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Now here's the thing, though. Huh? What'd
Why?
you say, Chad?
But I said why, but okay.
Well, so the idea and what the story is alluding to is that, well, then they're going to make the show, clearly. Here's the reality about the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
They will file patents and trademarks for a ton of things just to get them off the market, just so no one else can do it. We see this a lot. Yeah.
It's their own property, though. I'm not sure how that. It's a little different.
Well, I know, like in the WWE, for example. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, the word Star Trek is theirs.
Yeah.
Right.
They would have a hard time probably if somebody came out with something called SETI Alpha 5. They would probably have a hard time keeping them from doing that unless they've already filed for something with that attached to Star Trek. So I think it might be a defensive thing like that. But who knows?
Or like fan films that they don't want to have or something like that. Or, fan merchandising, stuff like that. Yeah, it could be things like that.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, in WWE, they often do file trademarks and never use them. Like, Bad Dudes Club or whatever they come up with, and never use that on TV. Dude, they've used so many stupid things. Like, there was, I can't even think, like, Los Bad Guys. I don't know. Yeah.
Los Bad Guys.
See. Anyways, so the trademark has been filed. I mean, the other, and then the counter to that is if they were going to do something with it, these are the first steps they would take. So I guess we'll see.
That's cool.
Yeah. Our next news story comes to us from theguardian.com. And this was so hilarious. I posted it in the Discord and Facebook group. So those of you who had a chance to see this yesterday will know what I'm talking about. But apparently in The Guardian, they do a series where people go on blind dates and then they answer questions about their blind date. So they put two young adults, Yev, who's 32, and she's a marketing manager, and Ellis, who is 32, and he's a software developer. Development.
That's a match made in heaven right there.
Yeah. And the headline on this is blind date, quote, she quickly asked me to stop talking about Star Trek.
Done.
So yeah. Well, each person is given a bunch of different questions. So Yvonne Ellis says, "What did you guys talk about?" She says, "Russia and Ukraine, wine, our jobs, hummus, and how Star Trek is apparently the best pre-bed watch, our favorite podcast, and the highs and lows of living on a boat." So that's how she interpreted the evening, right?
Okay.
Whereas Ellis says, let's see, what did you talk about? He says, what didn't we talk about? Her job at a dating app, my idea for a dating app, her belief that it should be illegal to overtake someone in a swimming pool, my belief that everyone should be made to watch Star Trek. According to him, any awkward moments. She quickly asked me to stop talking about Star Trek. And then here's the best. Describe Yev in 3 words. His 3 words are, not a Trekkie.
Not a Trekkie, yeah. That's funny.
So don't think they will be going out again. But
doesn't sound like it, no.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
So I had this, talking about this, I had this weird epiphany yesterday. And the reason I didn't mow the yard yesterday when I should have before the rain came is because I was spending time with my daughters. I spent the morning with my youngest one, and I spent the afternoon with my oldest one. When I took the oldest one out, we went shopping. She wanted to go shopping. So we went shopping. We went to a whole bunch of different places. And I had this weird epiphany while I was just standing there holding all of her clothes that she's buying. And I was just looking around, and it's like, every person in here either looks like they're 2 or they're 80. It's just a bunch of women in this airy store. And they either look like they're young or they look like they're old. And I thought to myself, that's probably how I'm going to feel. Like if I was ever going to be single again, like if I wasn't married, that's probably how I would look at every person. Every person I would have to like try to go date. They would either look way too young or way too old. Like none of them would look like my wife. They wouldn't look the same age as my wife. And that's because I've been with my wife for 25 years almost, 24 years in July, and married for 24 years together for 25. But I've seen her at what she looked like 25 years ago and now, but it's been gradual. And so when I look at her, I see her the same way I did 25 years ago. And so that's, I don't know, I just thought maybe that's why some of these guys who I know who are getting divorced in their 40s and 50s date these girls in their 20s because that's the last time they saw anybody. that's what
Yeah,
that was a weird epiphany. I don't know, it's strange. It was a strange, not that I'm planning on getting divorced, it was just a strange thought. I don't know, it was weird. Just thought
philosophy with Chad.
Philosophy with Chad, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a weird epiphany. So anyway, Thank God I don't have to mess with that. I don't want to mess with that. I just don't want to mess with that.
I have no interest in that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I tell my wife all the time, "You're stuck with me."
Yeah.
Stuck
yeah.
There you go.
She is 100% stuck with me. She ain't going nowhere, even if she wants to. Sorry. But I'm going to have to start treating you like Shaq treats his wives.
Oh, God.
How much do you hear this story this week? His ex-wife?
No,
like he didn't want
we don't follow the sports ball.
He didn't want his ex-wife working because he was afraid for her safety. So how much do you make in a year? And she's like, well, I make about $100,000. He goes, well, here's $300,000. Then stop working.
That's awesome.
Stay home. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him. He was online at Walmart. Because he does that. He'll just go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves Walmart.
He loves
shopping.
buying. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's online buying stuff at Walmart, and he turns to the kid behind him. It's like a 9-year-old kid behind him. He says, "Hey, you got a bicycle at home? Ask your mama if I can buy you a bicycle. Go ahead, ask her now. Hurry up."
Yep.
And then it cuts to him in the bicycle aisle with this kid. He's like, "How about a mongoose? I had a mongoose when I was a kid." And this kid's picking up bikes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it occurs to Shaq that, technically he's a stranger.
Yeah.
So he tells the kid, "Don't let anybody else buy you stuff. Don't take nothing from nobody but me."
Yeah. It's hysterical. Yeah. He does this all the time, though. That's not like the first time.
Yeah, he does crazy.
Yeah.
But he says at the end, they're interviewing him, and he says, "Every time I leave the house, I buy somebody something."
Yep.
He says, I can't take all of this with me."
Yep.
So
yeah.
Every time I leave the house, I do
What a great
this.
guy.
It's like, wow, man.
What a great guy.
Yeah, good on him.
Yep.
A few years ago, Shaq was in my town for New Year's Eve. And
because
nobody knows
to
why.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for New Year's Eve, yeah.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing, but he was here, and he was just bar hopping. And every bar he went to, he left enough money to cover everyone's drink for the night. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. All the bars are packed.
It's a lot, yeah.
He's just paying for drinks left and right.
Wow.
I remember reading a story. He went to a
for him.
Mexican restaurant, and there was a family that was there, and he overheard them talking about, like, the dad was like, we're just going to have the nachos because those are free, and we're going to have some water, and then we'll get some tacos to split. And it was dad and a mom and, like, 3 kids. And he overheard it, and he went over and just sat down with them. Of course, they don't know him. He doesn't know, to them, they're a total stranger, right? And he's like, I'm going to buy you guys. He goes, I'm going to buy you guys. Of course, think about this, right? A Mexican family sitting there in a Mexican restaurant, and this gigantic guy they don't know comes and sits down next to him and goes, I'm going to buy you all dinner.
Yeah. Get in the van.
Get in the van, right? He doesn't even. He's such a gentle guy. He doesn't even realize what he comes across as sometimes. He's just so nice. He just doesn't get it. He's just a giant teddy bear. He's a real life Paddington bear is what he is. So
he is a real life Paddington. Shackington.
Shaddington.
Shackington.
Shackington.
Good stories. Good stories.
I'm gonna buy you some marmalade.
I'm gonna get you a big margarita and you're gonna drink it. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
All right. Last news story comes to us from NBCNewYork.com.
We're still.
Yeah.
We're still in the news.
We're still in the news.
God.
Yeah.
This is what a good Trek series does to the 3 of us and this show. We're happy. We're laughing. We're having a good time. It's totally carefree. Go for it.
So, okay, the headline is Star Trek Klingon helps New York City teachers understand students struggling to learn English. And there's a new program at a school in Brooklyn. Teachers in Shepherd Bay are hoping that changing their language will help their way of thinking. So the idea is these teachers are learning Klingon right now in an attempt to understand what it's like to understand or learn a new language when you don't understand anything about it. So if they can, get a feel for that situation, they might better be able to help their students coming in from other countries learning English.
That's great. That's cool. That's funny. But how about they learn the language these kids are speaking natively? What the
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different ones. Like
they
said, some are Middle Eastern.
Taking the long way.
Yeah.
Talk about taking the long way. It's like.
Well, of course, Dan, they would take the long way.
They're speaking Spanish and it's tough for them to learn English. How can we relate? maybe we should learn Spanish. No, let's learn a fictional, made-up science fiction language that'll benefit no one in this room.
These people are real Trekkies, okay? They're real Trekkies because they are taking the long road. It's been a long road.
It's New York City. I expect nothing less.
Getting from there to here. Let's learn Klingon, everybody.
Kapla. I kind of want to hear the Pledge of Allegiance in Klingon. I wonder what that would sound like.
Well, the original Pledge of Allegiance in the original Klingon.
Yes. The Pledge of Allegiance in the original Klingon. Yes. Oh, my
Lord.
Warning! Nerd alert!
We haven't used that in a long time. I just had to fit it in somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. They're saying that lately they've had
I'm writing a note to myself. I'm writing a note to myself to convert the Pledge of Allegiance to Klingon for next week.
Yes, I want to hear it.
That would be great.
They have said that they have seen a recent influx of students from Ukraine and other Eastern European countries.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Kittimer, all the places.
Repente. What are the other ones we know?
It's Siberia, right? I mean,
yeah, that's Siberia. It's Repente. Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God!
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That's about as bad as Congress voting to send a whole bunch of money to the Ukraine to help them protect their borders. Because border security is important in Ukraine. Just not here.
All
right. Down, Chad.
Sorry.
Down.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's bring it back.
I'm gonna put Ben Shapiro back in the box. I'm putting Shapiro back in the box. I'm sorry.
Yeah, put Ben Shapiro belongs in the box. We literally just lost viewers by you doing that.
Oh, we did not.
Yes, we did. I've literally seen the graphic.
You've got a graphic timeline of here's when Chad opens his mouth and the viewers go down, and here's when Chad's quiet and the viewers go up.
No. It goes minute by minute on YouTube, and you can see the viewers just drop.
I've got to go see this for this episode. That'll be great.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
That's amazing. Sorry.
Thanks, Chad.
Sorry. This show would be so much better if I wasn't here.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
That's too good. Oh, and Daniel just sent me the graph.
Yeah.
He's like, here, I'll prove it to you.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, and these are when I say something political? Really?
No, this is when you mentioned it. That's the time frame.
Oh, just now.
You can see it. Yeah.
This is live.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That's why I keep telling you to stop that.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, now that I have real graphics in front of me.
What? All right. Well.
Yeah.
I still don't care. Okay. I'll stop. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah.
All the news done?
All the news is done.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting into the feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
And I suppose I should go pull up the coffee account and double check that, but I'll do that once we play this voicemail we got.
Sweet.
Oh, hold on. I don't know why it does that. Everything plays through the phone just fine until you go to play the voicemails. Then they have to change the setting.
Hello?
Here we go.
Hello? Yeah.
What was that?
You got that?
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Look on the card, top of the card, you can see your full name, right?
My full name, yeah, it's on the top of the card.
Yeah, right below the name. Did you see the mixtures of numbers and letters?
Yeah, the numbers.
Yeah, can you just repeat that?
The numbers and the letters, the Medicaid, on the Medicaid card?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's NCC 1701D. Hello?
Just repeat that again, sir.
It's NCC 1701D, as in David.
01D. Like, what kind of card are you holding? Is Medicare card?
It's my United Federation of Planets Medicaid card.
Oh, I'm talking about Medicare, not Kate.
Oh, Medicare. Okay, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting it now.
Nice.
Okay, it's the same number. It's NCC 1701, but it's E. It's not E. Or it's not D. It's E. It's Federation Medicaid Part E.
Okay, thank you so much for your precious time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now.
He just says, forget it, I'm done.
So clearly Dan got a call from a telemarketer.
Oh, I got a call from one of those scams, one of those Medicaid fraud scams. And
yeah.
you know, I do this thing when they call. I keep them on the phone as long as I can. And it's kind of a public service that I do. Because I figure no, seriously, I figure every minute that they're on the phone with me, wasting their time, is a minute that they're not on the phone with someone's nana, scamming her out of her life savings or committing fraud in their name or whatnot. So I had this great idea. I said, you know, I could three-way call this right over to the Trekcast voicemail box.
Yep.
And I merged the calls right towards the end of Chad's incoming greeting. That's why he was like, what was that?
Oh, I was supposed to play the...
It's cool.
I forgot all about it. Yeah, I forgot
That's
all
all
about
right.
it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Have you seen those YouTube channels where like those scammers will call like a hacker because it's just a number on their list?
Oh yeah.
And then that hacker just like steals all their info.
I've seen that. I follow that guy. He steals
There's
their
a few
info.
of them.
Yeah. There's one guy in particular I've watched where he's been able to access their system and turn on their webcams, and like he's got video of them. Yeah.
I saw one where like he located their offices and then like called the police in their area, and the police showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I do have some feedback. Chad, do you have any feedback?
I've got one email about Sam Kirk, and this is from Taryn Abear, and this is the only feedback I've got, and then we'll switch over to you. And in his email, he says, the reason for the mustache is that dead Sam Kirk in TOS Operation Annihilate was played by Shatner with a mustache. So if you go back and look at TOS, that's where that comes from. And I got Memory Alpha pulled up with George Samuel Kirk. And it is definitely a Kirk in a mustache. That's hysterical. But I think we've established that Sam Kirk must die every episode. So, or at least kind of.
Well,
die.
I'm wondering if he's going to be the anti James T. Kirk. I'm wondering if his job on this show is to be totally incompetent and never succeed at anything. You know, I mean, for years, you know, James T. Kirk was like the model.
Yeah.
You know, what every Starfleet captain.
They all wanted to be him.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if his brother is going to be the opposite. He's just going to be, you know, he's going to be the Rom. He's going to be the
I just wanted to be Dan from Orville.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to touch this. Hey.
That's what he did.
Like music? I like music.
Pretty much what he did.
With that mustache and that voice, perfect.
Yep.
Just the two of them.
Just
perfect.
go around touching everything. You just go touch
getting
everything.
into trouble. Want to see my cats? I have all sorts of cats in here. You know he has cats. He just has a ton of them in his quarters.
Yeah. And some of them he eats every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe. I also got a couple emails from Taryn. The first one was, the subject is, who is Chad's replacement? Chad's cold voice sounds like a professional disc jockey. You should have recorded new promos, intros, outros while he had that voice. And then he wrote, just a few minutes later, just finished the episode and I realized Chad's voice changed back to normal towards the end. Nurse Chapel's genetic mods must have finally worked on his vocal cords.
Loosening him up. Yep.
Yeah. So I also put in the Facebook and Instagram groups that we were recording this weekend, and I asked, who's your favorite new character on Strange New Worlds? I thought we would get a ton of Pikes, which we did, but I would venture to say almost at the same level. A lot of people love that Nurse Chapel.
Yeah.
Well, how could you not? She's pretty.
Well, she's easy. She's easy on the eyes. She's not hard to look at.
She's got pretty eyes too. The eyes themselves.
She might have a chance with me. She could give it a real shot, and I would let her try.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I love you, buddy. That's
she
awesome.
She wants some little Ocho in her life.
Yeah, yeah.
Who doesn't? Get in line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, well, what's cool about her character in the first two shows that we've seen so far is she's actually an interesting character too. She's not just
she is
pretty face or whatever. And the outfits, obviously tight fitting and all that, but that's not what's attractive about her. It's that hair and that smile and that attitude and her character. That's what's attractive about her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, or this show, all of these characters so far, I don't have any of them that I don't like. I don't have any of them that I don't really like. Already have an instant I'm interested in them. Like, there's not a single one that I'm not interested in. So
the way they introduced Hemmer, the chief engineer, was awesome.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you learned a lot about him without having to say a whole lot. You learned a lot about him. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
One complaint I did see about Apple is that her attitude did not mesh up with her character from TOS.
Yeah.
That she's very
You're cutting it out.
Yeah. Sorry, dude, you're cutting in and out. I think the point Dan's trying to make is that it doesn't mesh up perfectly with TOS, and I think that's partly remember that news story I had last week where we said that they're going to stick to it, but at places they're going to break canon.
Yeah,
I think this is one of those examples where they break canon,
and I'm actually okay with it because you have to recall this whole crew that's on this bridge right now is years before we saw Nurse Chapel in TOS. Right. She's a young kid right now.
Right.
Really, she is. She's young, just like Uhura. Yeah. Uhura and what she had said about, where she's at with why am I here? It was just somewhere to go to get away. Is very not the Uhura we know from TOS for sure. But that's okay because she's a young kid, just like Chapel's really a young kid. They're all just getting started, kind of like with Spock.
It's Strange New Red Squad.
Yeah.
But there's another big difference with Chapel.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
She's not a Starfleet officer.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And they introduce her as a civilian in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, she obviously becomes a Starfleet officer because we see her wearing a Starfleet uniform in TOS.
Yeah.
But as a civilian, she is not bound by all of the military
protocols and all that
and whatnot. So I think that would account for her overly informal nature.
I guess I didn't pick up on that in the first episode.
At least that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
that
you
makes
look
sense.
She had those scenes with the doctor in the last episode. He's wearing a blue Starfleet uniform, and she's wearing this white jumpsuit thing.
Right.
So
true. Yeah, we didn't even see the doctor in this episode.
Nope.
Yeah, we didn't. Nope.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Not be in every episode. It's a big ship, and
it's a big cast of characters that we're getting to see. I'm okay with only seeing some and then the others, so we can get a good rounding of who they are. And I think they're doing a great job of that so far. I already know these characters better than I know the bridge crew of Discovery.
Crazy, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I want to see him again, but at the same time, you know what? Gul Dukat wasn't in every episode. Garrick wasn't in every episode.
Right.
Rom in every episode. Nog wasn't in every episode. So it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, so let's finish with the feedback. We got Chaz Biz and Lumberjack Daryl here in the chat with us. I'm going to unmute both of them for their little portion of the feedback here, guys. You're both unmuted at this point. Chaz, you're still muted, but that's on your end, buddy. So, Daryl, why don't we start with you? What's your feedback so far now that we're 2 episodes in for Strange New Worlds?
Well, so far I got no complaints. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I enjoy these new cast of characters, and yeah, just nothing to complain about. Looking forward to episode 3.
What was the? I thought I saw you make a post somewhere about talking with one of the writers about something. You want to fill us in on that, please?
Oh, I was at a FanCon here in northern BC yesterday, and I talked to one of the writers, Mark Bernard, and he was one of the writers for season 2 of the Picard there. And he talked about he tried to get a Cisco ancestor in there, but that didn't pan out. And apparently they had a big writers. They pulled all the writers and crew together like halfway through, so that's why it seemed like a big clusterfuck. Sorry for the swearing.
That's okay.
Yeah, so that's why there was a lot of tell and don't show type stuff.
Mm.
So, but
rewrites in the middle of it. Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah. And I asked him about Discovery, and he said after like the first season of season 2, he sort of tuned out of it. So it's like, and this guy's a diehard Deep Space Nine TNG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so it was an interesting conversation. So
I bet.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that in the field report, Daryl.
Yeah, that's great. That helps.
He's our man on the ground.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our international correspondent. He's in BC, British Columbia.
Well, we only get one convention up here once a year, so we do get a little bit up here. So
there you go. Did you try the poutine?
Oh, we can get. Well, yes, but we get poutine whenever we want. So
right, it grows on trees over there.
So, that is. Well, where I am, it's we walk within 10 feet. There's a tree, so.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
All right, well, cool. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Chaz,
thank you.
If you have any feedback, you can unmute your mic. Sorry, excuse me. Still don't have my voice 100%. I still got some congestion. There he is. How's it going, man?
Okay. Pretty good. I definitely enjoyed the episode.
Good.
It's like it's old Star Trek in a way. It's old but new, and it's pretty, and
it's
I like
gorgeous.
the story writing. I mean, that ship looks amazing. Like the transporter room, the bridge, like everything about it's just, I don't know, it's just so pretty, you know. It's not like Doctor Who and old boxes on the old 1960s series. And
well, that VR wall is just amazing. Like how much they can get away with.
Well, it's great how they've updated the look and the feel for today's type of television without totally redoing the entire, what you would think of from the Enterprise and TOS, right? I mean, granted, I did notice on the turbo lifts they're not holding on to anything. I did notice that.
Touch screens for the panels and not knobs and buttons.
Right. So I mean, but at this point, yeah, exactly. You're going to update that stuff. You just have to.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm glad it's not like the holographic buttons like they do. I find that looks goofy because they're just having their hands up in the air, touching random things, and
right.
And it looks, I don't know. You just tell they're not even like doing anything.
On one of the Will Wheaton shows, when they were interviewing 7 of 9 and Rios, and 7 took over the ship, La Serena, apparently Rios had to sit down with her and like, this is how I move my hands to show that the ship is taking off.
Gosh.
And because they want to keep it consistent, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Which
they
that's
got a
straight out of
What'd you say, Dan?
That's straight out of Galaxy Quest.
Right.
I made up what the ship does, and they studied that and built the real ship around it.
Exactly. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And one thing is about the show is there's different aliens each week.
Yeah.
Which is great. Because like I can't even name a new alien on the other series. Like Discovery and Picard.
No, not really.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, I can picture some of them on Discovery, but I can't. Like, what's the butterfly people's names? I don't know.
Yeah.
The Saru people.
The Saru people,
Kelpians, yeah.
Yeah, the Kelpians. And then, like, you have, what is that, 4 seasons? And you could barely name any aliens.
Yeah.
And then you have this new show, and you're like, oh, wow, in 2 weeks, we've got 2 different looking aliens, 2 different species. This is cool.
Yep.
And this is how it should be. This is how Star Trek always was.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm happy that they're moving forward and making different planets, different, I don't know, sets than just the bridge of a starship and people talking about
something we have not talked about. What do you guys think of this little intro that they play before Strange New Worlds that's very clearly wanting to be their Marvel slate?
I was going to bring that up. Yep, I was going to bring that up because we have 2 title cards, really. We have the main Trek title card now. They never did that for the franchise. They never did that for Picard. They never did that on Disco.
Oh.
They obviously had it ready. Why didn't they do that for Picard?
I think they wanted to unleash it with Strange New Worlds. I think they knew
it has a Strange New Worlds look and feel, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
I think with their test audiences and everything, everybody liked it because it's just so different and it's back to the original and it's not focused on one person.
I follow some entertainment blogs and YouTube channels that are not Star Trek, but just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And man, even on those, they're all loving Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
And they did not really, none of them really hated Picard or Discovery, but they were just like, it's a show. Like, they didn't.
Right.
It was a passing thought. Whereas this one, people love it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What's not to like about it so far?
You watch it.
Yeah.
And I like the cast. I like the new Uhura. I think she's very interesting. And
yeah,
she's great.
They could have ruined that. Yeah. They could have totally ruined that. That's a hard thing to do, and they pulled that off so far. So
yeah, and she's almost more like the Nichelle Nichols one than the Zoe Saldana.
Although I don't like Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Zoe Saldana was just pretty young eyes. You know, you're like, ooh, you know.
Yep.
She could also have a chance with me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make one of those predictions that I make from time to time.
Okay.
They made a point to tell us that Uhura was raised by her grandmother.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am predicting the Nichelle Nichols cameo.
Ooh,
that'd be amazing. Yeah.
As Grandma Uhura.
Will she teach her how to dance with feathers?
Oh Lord, please God, no.
Put that down. I said it here. I said it first.
Yeah.
All right.
I would have a hard time seeing that happening with the state of the show.
Feathers.
Yeah.
I mean, what if they go to her quarters at one point? These were my grandma's feathers, and that's it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
She has a bunch of books of Klingon and everything stacked up, and
yeah. Oh, they have to have a scene with her having a bunch of books. They have to have that scene. That was so silly in that movie.
How could you not?
How could you not do that? That's a great thrill. That'd be such a great. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have books? It's like so I can, focus on things.
Yeah.
Sometimes the power goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to hold something, the smell, the feel. I mean, I'm of that ilk right now. You can have every single book you want right here on my iPad, and I have tons of books that I read off my iPad. But every once in a while,
that's why Archer had a dog and not a holographic dog.
Yeah, I like to go to my library and actually pull out a real book in my hand and hold it. I won't pull the one down that's above me right now for the fear of losing listeners. But I mean, that's what you do. You want to have something in your hand. I had to, Dan.
Yeah.
I looked up and saw it, and I thought, I have to. And at this point, Daniel's like, how do we kick Chad off this show?
No.
We just need like a dump button, like a Chad dump button.
Yeah.
The Ultra Magna button.
Yeah. The what button?
The
Ultra Magna button.
The Ultra Maga or the Maga King or whatever they referred to him.
Yeah.
We've gone totally off the rails. Okay. Oh, that's amazing feedback.
Yeah.
And do 8 minutes of topic?
Yeah.
Let's do topic.
We've already gone through half the topic. Let's go through the rest of it. Chaz, I'm going to mute you, buddy.
Yeah.
But if you have any comments, make sure everybody, if you're listening to us live over on YouTube, I don't know if Daniel's watching the chat over there, but I am watching the on-air chat on Discord just in case. So you can always come to our Discord or on YouTube and comment there as we're talking, since everything's live at this point, and we'll get your additional feedback there as well. So, okay, moving on to the topic.
Well, let's not keep these assholes waiting.
Trekcast.
And we're going to talk about, that's the wrong button. Whatever. We're going to talk about Trekcast. We're going to talk about the latest episode, which we've already been talking about since the very beginning of this episode. But hey, it's Children of the Comet, episode 2 of season 1, Strange New Worlds. The only thing about the opener of this was I was wondering, okay, they went right to their next mission. And Pike is still captain, and they didn't go back to Earth so he could quit, which is what he was talking about at the beginning of the first episode, or the first episode anyway. And I know he kind of came to some sort of resolution of that at the end of the first episode, but not really. Or did he? Maybe I just forgot about that. Because I kind of figured they would pick up on that a little bit of him maybe arguing with the Admiral about, I really want to, oh, and by the way, what's that Admiral's name?
Robert April.
Robert April. Yeah. So they've changed that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
from
is
the animated
fine.
series.
Yeah, which is fine. But Robert April, I missed talking about that in our last show, that was Robert April. Anyway, that's cool.
I specifically didn't bring it up because, there was a lot of belly aching online.
Was there?
Because in the animated series he was Caucasian, and they recast him African American, and people are saying, it's another recasting based on race for no reason, and other people are saying, the cartoon is not canon, so who cares? And honestly, I don't care.
The only thing I have to say about that is, was it Robert April in Beyond? Didn't they bring up that name in Beyond?
I think they brought up the name, but that was it.
Never showed him, but brought up the name. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an alternate universe, so whatever.
He's never appeared in live action except for a still photograph that the Okudas put together.
Yeah.
And the still photograph was a picture of young Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
whatever.
Whatever.
Cool. I like that guy. I've seen that guy in multiple shows before. He's been around.
I imagine we'll see him at the end of the season, and that's it. Something like "Good job, Pike," or
I just thought it was cool to see Robert April. I just thought it was cool to see Robert April. I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with who's playing him. Who gives a shit? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway,
it should have been Denzel though. Come on, if Denzel just showed up in the middle of this show for no reason, just hey Pike, you gotta go, and that's it, and it walks away.
I think the only reason anybody should really have a problem with, if they pull in some of these characters from the original series and they bring him in, the only reason I'd ever have a problem with whoever they picked, regardless of race or color, gender, I don't care. The only reason I have a problem with it is if they picked someone who was already an existing character. Like, I don't know, let's make Brent Spiner play Robert April. Like, that would have ticked me off. Like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that?
Or Phlox.
Except with one exception, it'd be perfectly fine with me if Jeffrey Combs played Robert April.
That's what he does.
I want a Star Trek series where Jeffrey Combs plays everyone. That's what I want.
Do we? How do we know that it's not really Jeffrey Combs playing Anson Mount playing Pike? Because it is that good.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
they should make shorts again. I like the shorts. I know it's sometimes every once in a while we kind of poo-pooed them, but honestly, I miss those. I really wish they'd make the shorts again, and they should make one with Jeffrey Combs where he plays everyone, and it's like a horror mystery hologram thing. I mean, that would be all his 15 minutes. Come on, he'd be down for it.
I have an idea for a short. Yeah, go ahead.
Shran could show up in this show. There's no reason that.
Yes, he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink skin. I want to see Shran calling people pink skin. That's great.
Oh my god. Okay, What about if they do a short trek and it's basically a takeoff of The Last Starfighter, where Jeffrey Combs has been abducted by aliens and he's got to go help them, and that's why we haven't seen him in any of the Star. Like, doesn't have to tie to Star Trek at all. It's just a short little film that Short Trek puts out.
That's amazing.
It's just Jeffrey Combs is saving the galaxy, and that's it.
That's amazing. Okay, so
let's review the show.
Yeah, about this episode. We're just having a good time today.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, Children of the Comet. They instantly start off where they're following this comet that looks like it's going to hit the planet. They've only got 2 days to try to divert it, and they basically just launch torpedoes at it that are going to stick to itself with ion drives and push it out of the way. Real simple. Although the asteroid or the comet, whatever, has shields. They can't figure that out. Now we've got this alien race coming in with this giant ring ship that says, no, you can't do that. And calamity ensues from there. Yeah. Calamity ensues from there. So then they have to figure out how to save the people, save themselves, get their people off the rock. That's the episode.
Right.
But we get a lot of little things that happen in the middle of all of that. This wonderful scene in Pike's quarters where he's cooking for everybody, and they're just getting around, they're just sitting around talking to one another, and it's a really heartwarming scene where you can tell that these people all care about each other. Even the newbies, they care about the newbies, even though the newbies don't have a clue what's going on. Uhura, for instance. And I love these awkward moments that they throw in there, because so far they've made it look like Spock is pretty well integrated into the crew. And he's even got like these wry little almost smiles on his face every once in a while, like he kind of gets
a little sarcastic.
A little sarcastic, right? But then not. But they dialed that back. They dialed that back this episode, and he was saying things that were a little awkward because he doesn't understand, like this propensity to laugh thing. I thought that was great. They ruin it later when he laughs on comm, but whatever. But I get it. It was a joke. So no, they. That was a great scene, and then of course Uhura being, "Oh no, I speak 37 languages," just totally candor, you know,
like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing, and the whole room stops and just stares at her. Like 37.
She says it like you would say, like, "Oh, I can juggle." Like it's impressive, but not super impressive.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That was a great scene. I love that scene. That was probably my favorite scene out of the entire episode, from the standpoint of getting to know these characters and actually doing it in the way that worked really well, in my opinion.
Well, I thought about how we have seen scenes like this in DS9, right? Like Cisco hosted a few parties, and it was pretty fun. And you know, it wasn't as elaborate as this because of the shooting techniques now and the stages, but still, it was great. And you know, this is very similar to the card games that the crew would have in TNG.
I think that's the thing about it I love so much. This feels like a Trek show. This feels like a Trek episode.
Like, it reminds me of Voyager a little bit. In that Janeway was very much the mom of that ship.
Yeah.
And Pike is the dad of the ship. This is an old-fashioned nuclear family. You know, Pike is the dad, number one is the mom, and the older kids are home from college, and the younger kids are coming to dinner, and, you know, the whole family is there, and you got the weird neighbor who's blind, but, you know, can still do a bunch of stuff. He can juggle, he's blind. Yeah, so, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed that scene. It was realistic. That's how a dinner party would be.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's winding down. You're just all sitting around the table, sipping drinks, telling funny stories. It felt genuine.
One thing I think is cool, and I like the look of it, but I also question it, is how come they have to have fire in every, like, the fire's everywhere. Like, there's a burning.
One, it's pretty, and two, you don't know that it's not holographic.
I know, but it's fine. I like the look of it. It's just like, it's a strange phenomenon where every new series here now has to have fire somewhere in the background for what they're filming. When it's like a casual, if it's a casual dinner setting, there has to be an open fire somewhere, holographic or not.
To be fair, though, how did we not know that Pike wouldn't have like a log cabin in the middle of the Enterprise? Like, just throw in a log cabin.
He has a real log cabin, so yes. I mean, it fits his character more than the other scenes we've seen where there's just a random fire somewhere. But it's still interesting, though, that they just keep doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, so they send a
Go ahead,
their
Dan.
house.
You're cutting in and out, Dan, so we're missing you. So
I said people buy electric fireplaces to put in their house. They put off next to no.
Sure.
They're a drain on your electricity, but the ambiance in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
Really what they're for.
Right. No, I get it. We light a fire in my fireplace in the middle of summer sometimes because it doesn't put off any heat, but it's nice looking at night, so whatever.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Let's see. So then they dispatch an away team to go to the Comet to figure out what's going on because they realize to shoot at the Comet, the shields go up, but when they don't shoot at it, nothing happens, so they can transport over. They do that, and immediately the shields go up, and now they've lost contact with the away team.
Mm-hmm.
Uhura is on that mission. She's very nervous because it's her first away mission and doesn't feel ready for it. And so we get a little bit of trial by fire for her.
Yep.
Mustache then decides to go and start touching things that he shouldn't. And, he's like a little kid in the museum. And he gets shocked by a giant golden egg. Yes, that's a real sentence.
Yep.
And
yep.
Yeah.
I love this scene too, when they're trying to figure out what this thing is and how it all works, and Sam gets himself shocked and blown back and knocked out, and Uhura's like, "Well, I guess we're not going to touch anything."
Yeah.
So
that was a little Orville right there.
It was. I mean, he's a xenobiologist, right? Like he should know better than to do that. But then again,
I think good as the ones on Prometheus.
I think this is the start. Exactly. This is the start of Sam almost dying every episode. I mean, he's the new red shirt. He's gonna almost die every episode because he's
gonna be their Kenny every episode. He dies.
He really should. I mean, this is hysterical. They did say, and I saw this posted somewhere, that they're going to have like a full-blown comedy episode here. One of these episodes this season is going to be like a full-blown. I can't wait. I want to see Sam die over and over again. Like do a time loop thing where he dies every 5 minutes. And oh my God, they killed Sam. That'd be great.
Which Friends character should he be more like, Ross, Chandler, or Joey?
Joey, because he's an idiot.
Oh, I think Ross. He strikes me as a Ross.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
great. Guys in the chat. Which Friends character should Mustache be?
Oh Lord. So no, but I do like how they had to. She had to get a pep talk from Spock, and the pep talk the first one was horrible. The second one was better. It was a great. Both of them were great though. So Nuremberg from the Naked Gun movies. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
But no. And the way to resolve this and the way to read all this is music. Like that's great. I haven't heard them do that before. That's a new thing. But it's a cool new thing, like something that should have happened before. Really, I thought that was fantastic. And then of course you hear Spock try to sing. He's really just kind of going with notes.
With tones.
With tones, which is great. It reminded me of him singing in the elevator with number one. Modern Major General.
And there's no reason he should able to sing after they just explained how music is based on mathematics.
Exactly.
It would make sense for him to, he's not singing.
No.
He's reproducing sounds based on the math that he's doing in his head.
Like data.
Yep, with data. Yeah. So they made this whole scene again. They did they walked a very tight line here, if you ask me, and they pulled it off. They made a scene that was weird, that was awkward, but worked really well.
Yeah.
At first you almost think that this is not really in these people's characters, but it is. They almost make you think this is totally weird with the singing and harmonics, but it makes sense, and the mathematical tie-in with it and all of that. I mean, that was a well thought out scene. It was a very well crafted and well thought out scene. That was good. I like that. That's probably my second favorite scene, really.
Well, these producers have been creative, right? Like even in Disco this last season, they had the gases and lights to show a language that was creative and interesting.
Sure.
So they can do it.
But they didn't pull that off though.
Right.
They ruined. They half-assed that.
That's a whole different animal.
They really did, and they half-assed it. And in this episode, they almost did that to me. They almost did that as well. In this episode, when they're trying to figure out how to divert the comet without touching the comet so that they don't get killed, I was really confused as to what the hell they were doing in that shuttlecraft. What was Spock doing? Like they never.
I wasn't clear on that.
I was so confused, but it was a good way to do it because again, they were just showing us instead of telling us, and they kept me on the edge of my seat. Like, what in the hell is going on here? This makes no sense. What are they doing? I was so upset. I was like, they're going to ruin this episode now. No, it actually made sense. And then of course they tied it in at the end. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have two small issues with the episode. Two writing issues.
Sure.
Okay.
One, I'll just go is like a technology question. But
technology.
Can you not lock onto something with a tractor beam if it has shields? Is there a reason they didn't push this thing out of the way with a tractor beam, or pull it out of the way with a tractor beam? And you say it's too big, but I mean, they were just going to put 4 thrusters on it, and move it. It can't be that big.
Well, if you watch the Enterprise flying around it, it looks huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just said, "Oh, it's got don't touch me-ite on it, so tractor beams won't work."
Yeah. I mean, for my first perspective on that, it was too large.
Like that's how they discover the shields. The shields go up, and or whatever. So that was the one issue. The other issue, okay, so you have this pre-warp society on this planet. There's this asteroid coming along that's going to strike the planet. It's going to kill the people. Yeah, that sucks, but Prime Directive, we got other shit to do. Why are they interfering in the natural evolution of these people? It's kind of a like they forgot about Prime Directive just for this episode, and it bothers me because there's a very, very, very easy solution for this. All they had to do is because Star Trek is always really good about finding a way around the Prime Directive when they need to, and the simple way around the Prime Directive is a year ago there was a battle between a Federation starship and a Klingon battle cruiser, and it resulted in an explosion which changed the course of this asteroid, and now it's going to collide with this planet. Normally the Prime Directive would say we can't interfere, but we've already interfered and we're causing this, so fixing it is not interfering, it's fixing the problem that we created.
Initially created.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a simple thing that would have taken about 15 seconds of exposition, and don't have this problem.
Well, so to back up, and I thought about this as Chaz was typing this in the chat too, in the last episode, because of their interaction with the pre-warp society and all the stuff that was going on, that's when someone mentioned to Pike that they were going to change up how they're doing first contact rules, and they were going to call it the Prime Directive, and he said, "Oh, that'll never stick." So what we call and reference as the Prime Directive isn't totally set up just yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet by either the end of this season or the end of the show, it'll be set.
Yeah, and maybe that'll be one of the conflicts in one of the episodes where he's arguing about it or whatever. We're just going to let people die, whatever. But but you're right. They could have very easily fixed that problem with the why they're in the area.
I took that more of early episodes of TOS. They didn't call it the Prime Directive. They referred to it as General Order 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the name kind of changed. So I thought they were just acknowledging the name change by doing that. But yeah, maybe there's new orders coming down midway through the season. We'll see.
Well, I mean, they've set it up to where they can do that and have some good conflict from those new orders, right? As a backstory to what's going on with something else and how it affects everything else. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I get it.
I liked how, I feel like this Pike that we're looking at is all the best parts of Kirk, all the best parts of Picard, and when I say Picard, I'm talking about 7 seasons of Picard.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like they took the best qualities of those two captains and smushed them together to give us Captain Dad Pike. And
he's got a little bit of Cisco in him too, like the dinner parties, the relatability, being friends with his crew,
Yep.
A little bit of those 3 dudes.
Yeah, he's just a likable. I love this job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. That was
very like, but he's he pulls the guns out when the guns need to come out. He also has no problem humbling himself for the good of the mission at the end when he says to those aliens, "Oh, we need your help. We're helpless without you."
Yep.
For the good of the mission, he has no problem humbling himself.
Yep.
And that seemed like a very Picard thing to do. Whereas,
man, I really want to see Scott Bakula back as old ass Archer for one episode. Just bring him back.
Maybe you will.
Maybe.
Chaz in the chat says best hair out of all of them as well, and he's correct. So
Scott's got great hair.
Best hair.
Yeah, he's got great hair.
So
Saru had great hair too.
That scene though where he leans over to number one and says best job ever. I mean, I liked it. You're right. That was kind of cool. But also like
Easy.
Is that really how he feels right now with everything else going on where he wanted to quit like in the last episode? I'm just it's like they got over that awfully fast, but that's okay.
Or he just could be sarcastic a a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if anything, I feel like they just threw that in the show so that they can put it on T-shirts and mugs later.
Yeah, maybe. Best job ever.
Also think as a good captain, he is putting up this facade in front of the rest of the crew.
Oh, yeah.
That he completely 100% got it together.
Yep.
And then when it's just him and number one doing dishes after the party.
Falls apart.
He can tell her about what's going on in his life. Just the way he stumbled, saying, "Where do you see yourself in 10 years?"
Yep.
Yeah.
And he quickly recovered and continued with what he was doing for the sake of the crew, and nobody noticed but her. And
which is why he is so relatable and why I love him so much, because that is such a man thing to do. To look like and act like you have it all together in front of everybody, but then behind the scenes completely fucking fall apart, like me. Sorry for my language.
I was going to say, are you saying that Pike is Batman and Christopher is Bruce, which would make number one Alfred?
That's funny.
I'm lost the analogy.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't.
So does that mean, is Spock Robin then?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Geez.
Spock is Robin.
Oh geez. No. Now you've lost me.
Not to wears the little shorts.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because he gets upset about wearing the shorts. For the record, I did not pick out this uniform. That was so good. That was so good.
I think I'm going to leave it there. I got some stuff on inside, but good episode.
All right.
Really enjoying this show.
Oh yeah, it's great.
We're on the right trajectory. I hope we stay on this trajectory.
Yep.
To the next one. Yeah.
We got 10 episodes, 13 episodes? How many did they say they were going to have?
I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah. It'll be too few. I can tell you that right now. It won't be enough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well,
cool.
Yeah. That was great. Can't wait till next week for another episode.
Make sure to send your emails in to trekcasttng@gmail.com, chadiswrong@gmail.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. TrekcastTng or Trekcast. Search for both of them. The coffee account. Keep those donations coming. We got about a year until we go to Seattle. Is it Seattle? Is that right?
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle. So we got about a year now because it's in May next year. So we got to get prepped for that, and we'll have to plan for that. That'll be fantastic.
According to Wikipedia, there's 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Awesome. Only 8 more. See, such a stark contrast between the other 2 series and this one, where we're already 2 episodes in going, damn, there's only 8 left. Whereas on the others, we're like, really? There's 8 more? So,
yeah.
And, of course, we have Lower Decks coming right behind all of this in August, I assume, like it normally has been. So we're going to have 2 good series back-to-back. It's fantastic. I can't wait. So all good things. Anything else, gentlemen? I think that covers it.
When you get a phone call and they've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty, just remember to 3-way into the Trekcast voicemail at 816-287-0448. Or you could just call us yourself and tell us what's going on in your life and what you think about our show, what you think about Strange New Worlds, what you think about Trek in general. Trekcast voicemail 816-287-0448. You'll get to hear Chad's awesome incoming greeting, which is fun. I had never heard that.
Oh, you hadn't? Yeah.
No,
that's like 2 years old. I should have re-recorded it while I had my my deep voice.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to change it up every once in a while.
Live long and prosper. Good show.
Yep.
Talk soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews. Subscribe to us. We'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.